Sorry, LT. Your Horned Frogs got absolutely demolished. What is up, everybody? And welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Meat on the 50. And it is our regular season finale. Yes, it is our regular season finale review episode where we are going to be breaking down most of the action that we saw last week. And we had some great action to end off the season. So, without further ado, let's start the show. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed the NFL regular season because we certainly did, and we had some epic action to end off our year, and it was the NFL Week 18. Last week in the NFL, I guess, regular season now. We're on to 18 weeks. I guess it adds way more excitement than I guess anybody ever anticipated. And we're going to break it all down to break it all down. With me is, as always, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you doing?
Another good week, obviously at the game. Just a blowout, and just didn't have to be nervous at all. So I don't know if anybody knows, but I was in the club section as far as and there's a club section upstairs, and downstairs is this whole interior part of the stadium that has food courts. It has a bunch of different bars and stuff. I didn't know this, but quick story. I went to so they have in the food court, they have like a chicken place where they have chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders. They have pizza, so they have like Sicilian style pizza. They have like Kobe burgers, and then they have like a Nathan's hot dog section, and then they have like a Pete's coffee section. They have like all kinds of different stuff upstairs and downstairs, but the food courts are downstairs. So you go, and then in the middle they have a bunch of candy, popcorn, all that stuff. It's just super cool how they have it. But I go to grab, I'm like, you know what? Let's try a Nathan's hot dog. It's been a while. I haven't had a Nathan's hot dog. We were supposed to go to Coney Islands to get a Nathan's hot dog. It was a little bit too far of a train ride for us. We just wanted to explore and do the Brooklyn Bridge. So we didn't end up going to Nathan's. So I've been craving my Nathan's since the trip. And I finally got my Nathan's hot dog. Grabbed the Nathan's hot dog. Asked the lady, hey, where do I pay for this Nathan's hot dog? This wonderful Nathan's hot dog. And she responded simply by saying, excuse me? And I said, well, aren't you going to charge me? Where's the thing to go ahead and, put the card in so I can, pay for the Nathan's hot dog? And she said, hun, everything is free of charge in the club section.
Wow.
So you can only imagine what happened after they told me everything was free of charge.
Oh, yeah?
I stuffed my guts. I got Nathan's hot dogs. I got pizza. I got chicken tenders. I got hamburgers. I got soda. I got water. There's a big case of all the Aquafina waters that you could take. I took 5-6 of them things. I took a hot dog to go. I'm telling you, popcorn, M&Ms. I was having a ball. I mean, the game was a blowout. So every time we'd score a touchdown, I would just go in with Gramps and just get free stuff. So I didn't know if anybody knew that, but if you buy a club ticket at Levi's Stadium, literally you have access to every single food and drink place, and everything is free.
Wow.
So I had an amazing weekend.
Wow. Good looking out to everybody out there. What is the club section? What is the numbers?
And, comment or let us know if you think Jake and I should kind of invest in those club seats next year. We got Bengals versus 49ers, and I think that Jake and I would have a good time. So I'm thinking we should do that.
Where are they? What is the sections?
Oh, it's like C37. It's like C32 to like C37, and then the bottom part it's like like 107 through like 120. It's like
Okay.
it's like a multitude of sections. It's not just like a specific area.
Well, there you go. Be on the lookout for sections 107 through 120. But yes, we can definitely talk about that Bengals game next season. But we got games to talk about this season, and it is going down. So let's put how we did last week up on the screen for yourself. I mean, you got on this roll and you have just continued to chug along for yourself. 12-4, 1-0 on the guaranteed victory. For myself, 9-7, 1-0 on the guaranteed victory. That means that you will take the overall regular season record lead for good. Most importantly, I think I want to point out that last season, my friend, you finished 159, 112, and 1. You improved by 9 games. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. Let's put the overall records up on the screen to make it official for yourself. 168, 101, 2 and 1. Jeez Louise. 15-3 on that guaranteed victory. Job well done, my friend. For myself, 161, 108, 2 and 1. 15-2 and 1 for the guaranteed victories. There it is. The regular season is finito. So let's wipe those off the screen and let's get into it. You know what time it is. It is time for the return of the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, Mr. Regular Season Record Champ. I hope it feels good. Please let us know what you want to start off with. Start off with the good, the bad, or the ugly.
Let's start off with the ugly.
Ooh, the ugly. So we had some ugliness on Saturday, and man, oh man, I mean, if you're going to bench somebody who has put his heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears, knee, ACL, MCL, PCL, LCL, if he's put all of that on the line, you're going to bench him. You're going to throw out there a real backup quarterback, like nothing more than a backup quarterback, and you're going to give the crowd 13 points? What I saw from the Las Vegas Raiders, not letting Derek Carr go out there one last time, win, lose, or tie, and just let Raider Nation and the fans appreciate this man one last time, is probably one of the most disrespectful things I've seen from a franchise really ever. And I don't know how much more lower the Raiders can go. But the Chiefs absolutely demolished the Raiders. Your thoughts on the 2022-2023 Las Vegas Raiders?
Well, you know, they've had their ups and downs. I mean, talk about a roller coaster of emotions for a fan base. Just, you know, the highs to the lows, to the lowest of the lows. You know, it's kind of unexplainable. I kind of get not starting Derek Carr, kind of on the contrary, because the reason why is it's their like injury clause. So if he gets injured, they guarantee that full amount of money, and I mean, they're trying to, you know, save some money so that they can try to add some pieces. So maybe that factored into it.
Good.
But at the same time, you would like to see Derek Carr get one more opportunity against a familiar foe in the Kansas City Chiefs, to kind of send him off on his last hurrah. So, unfortunate for Raider fans. Just a really, just the last few years have been, just definitely rough. You had a rough season. You lost your finale game, in Oakland, your final game. I think they lost to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then you go to Vegas, and nobody wanted them to go to Vegas. And I know people have accepted that, but everybody wanted them to stay in the Bay Area. They wanted to stay locally so that they could attend the games, and, they don't have to fly out of state. And it just sucks for them.
Yep.
And, we have some close buddies that are Raider fans, and definitely feel for them. You definitely don't want to see that happen. And then this year and last year you go into the playoffs, and you're a play or two away from potentially beating a team that went to the Super Bowl, to bringing in Josh McDaniels, and it's just
nothing works.
The chemistry they had. And you would think Josh Jacobs is going to stay, but you just don't know. We don't know Darren Waller's status, what's going on with him.
Yep.
He's in, he's not. We know Devontae's all in, but we thought we saw something with Jarrett Stidham last week, but I think that he got exposed this week because there was no film out on him, and then the KC had a week to prepare for him, and the 49ers didn't even know what the heck to expect, right?
Yeah, I agree.
They had a bad performance that week too.
I agree.
Not much to say. Kansas City dominating the Raiders. I thought that the Raiders would keep it a little bit closer. I definitely did. I thought Stidham would play better, but I was definitely wrong.
The Raiders. We will see what happens. More to come on the Las Vegas Raiders, because Brandon and I are going to discuss later on after the playoffs. We are going to discuss some free agency options for the Las Vegas Raiders. But the Miami Dolphins limp, and just limp into the playoffs. 11-6. Tua, do not think that he will be playing Super Wildcard Weekend, which means the Dolphins are most likely going to be a very quick one-and-done team. No real surprise there after dropping 5 straight and then pulling off that performance, an 11-6 performance against the Jets. Dolphins, you think they're getting dominated?
Yeah, I tend to think so. It's just a tough situation for them to be in without their starting quarterback. Granted, Tua had a rough ending to his season.
Yeah.
But 11-6, and it's just like, and this is what I said on the train ride back, from Levi's to the Great Mall is. Yeah. I told people, I said, look, they said D'Amico's, been interviewing with people, and I said, you got these coaches like Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel that go to these organizations and they're never going to win. I just don't think they're going to win. So then what happens? They get fired, and then they go get a coordinator job again. Win the damn Super Bowl before you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. Win the Super Bowl first and then go somewhere else. I get it. You got to get your money. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's just, if you win that Super Bowl, you've solidified that. You've gotten yourself over the mountain.
Yep.
And there's a much better chance that you're going to win the title because you've been through the process. And that is why my Boston Celtics didn't win. It's because they played against a team that has championship pedigree. So when we're talking about coaches leaving, 2 solid examples, Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Are you able to handle these situations when controversy happens? Kyle Shanahan can. 2 different quarterbacks went out this season. The back came in. We're still on a 10-game win streak. You should have stuck with the coach. You had to get your money. I understand that, but eventually, in my opinion, these 2 coaches will be gone.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think Mike McDaniel outlasts Robert Saleh, but
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a very good point, right? And then, I mean, man, yeah, who knows what's going to happen, right? Because even with I know he's not part of the tree, but they're all kind of friends. Even with Sean McVay now, his status in limbo, he might look to retire early and kind of ride off into the sunset. So then
he won a Super Bowl though, so he's more than
exactly
entitled to. He won it. He got it. My thing is,
that's a perfect example.
Here's my thing. They were doing an auction thing at the 49ers in the club suite, and they had all these different jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was there signed, and no one had bid on him. And the starting bid was $583. That was the starting bid for his signed game jersey. And someone said, that's really steep. That's ridiculous. And I said, well, what if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl? What if he wins the Super Bowl? And they said, well, what if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl and then he becomes a bust? I said, I won't care. We won the Super Bowl. So my thing is if you can win one, that is good enough.
True. Very true, right? Very true. I mean, we'll see what happens with Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel. But yeah, Mike McDaniel limping the Dolphins into the playoffs, taking on a tough opponent in the Bills. We'll talk about that obviously on our picks episode. But man, oh man, the Dolphins, ugly.
Oh yeah.
What else do we see that was ugly? The Dallas Cowboys put on a horrendous display to lead into the playoffs. And I mean absolute horrendous display, absolutely getting destroyed about the Washington Commanders. Just absolutely destroyed. And by Sam Howell, a rookie QB who has been out the entire season with a torn ACL with knee problems, comes in and looks like the real deal. So did we see everything that we were going to see from the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, or is there something I'm missing?
No. I just think that they had a bad game. I think that, I think they kind of realized that there's no way in heck that the Eagles were going to lose to the Giants. I mean, at the end of the day, it's highly unlikely. I think all of us thought it was highly unlikely.
Okay.
And I don't know if that they were kind of looking at too far ahead, and maybe that was part of it. But I definitely don't see them playing the way they played last week in the playoffs. I don't think that's a reflection. I think it's going to be a good game.
Okay, I like it. And then the last ugly. I classify this as bad and ugly. Well, it is ugly. The Packers. All you had to do was win. All you had to do was win. Now, there's some good mixed into here. The Detroit Lions. What a hell of an ending season run by the Detroit Lions. And all you can say is, wow, Dan Campbell, a tremendous job getting the most out of every single player on that team. Jamal Williams breaking the franchise record for rushing touchdowns in a single season by a Detroit Lion, right? Passing Barry Sanders. You may have heard of him, right? So great job by Dan Campbell, but we're still on the ugly. The Green Bay Packers, well, it's still bad, but ugly. Aaron had a chance, had a classic Aaron moment, and flubbed. Is this it? Is this the end of Aaron Rodgers and the Packers? What do you think?
Yeah. I just think I think he's going to retire. I just think he's going to retire.
Okay.
I just think he's going to retire. I don't think he needs to do anything else. He's won a Super Bowl. It's speculative early at this point, but I just think it's time. I just think just with him and just the way that he is and his persona, I just think that he's had enough.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, one of the most storied careers in the NFL, the only thing I guess that saves him is losing to the San Francisco 49ers for the gajillionth time, because that's exactly what would have happened if they would have made it into the playoffs. They would have had to play the Niners, and the Niners would have had to beat Aaron Rodgers for the 1,000th time again. Now they have their division rival to play, which is going to be very fun. That's going to be very interesting. But Aaron Rodgers, what happens? Yeah, what happens to Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season? I definitely do think he's done as a Packer. I don't know if he retires. I do think if he surveys and finds the right situation, I think he might step in for 2 more years. But like you said, really nothing to prove. Already has his 1 Super Bowl. Already one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. So Aaron Rodgers, if this is it, if this is the last hurrah, then definitely thank you for everything. But if this isn't, I am very interested to see where he goes, because that will be very, very interesting. Moving on to the bad. The New England Patriots, right there, knocking on the playoff door. 7 seed. All you have to do is win. Help the Bengals out to get the 2 seed. Nope.
All you have to do is win. Good one. Against a Damar Hamlin led, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't going to happen. I knew that there was no way in heck that was going to happen.
That opening kickoff pretty much was the nail in the coffin. They could have just stopped the game right after that. But the New England Patriots, 7th seed, bounced out of the playoffs.
I love it because you know how I feel about Mac Jones. I know that you're a fan. You know how I feel about him.
Don't make me step through that computer screen. All right. We all know Mac Jones.
Like Mayonnaise Mac.
We all know Mac Jones will be gone very shortly here. New England Patriots bounced. Definitely quarterback issue. We will see what happens with.
So you're taking Brock Purdy over Mac Jones?
Oh, I would take Brock Purdy over Mac Jones any day of the week.
But he's the last pick in the draft, and Mac Jones is like the 12th pick.
You know, I had I don't know, an epiphany. I wouldn't call it an epiphany, but I just had like a hard stamp truth in my head. And you're either a good quarterback or you're not. That's basically it. You either have what it takes or you don't.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. You either can play in the NFL or you can't.
Or you're going to be gone in a year or 2, 3 years. You're going to be a backup.
I can't play in the NFL. I can't be a quarterback in the NFL. I can admit that. But there are also people in the NFL that should not be in the NFL, right? And it's very easy.
Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, exactly. You're either a good quarterback or a bad quarterback. Like I was saying, I was kind of thinking off of AJ McCarron, right? AJ McCarron won back-to-back national titles with Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Comes in and does absolutely nothing. And so you're either a good quarterback or you're either a bad quarterback. There's really
pedestrian or you're good.
Yeah, there's really no in between. So you either got it or you don't. And so there's the people who don't have it exposed. Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, right? To name a couple. Those guys do not. Carson Wentz. I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on. But man, New England Patriots bounced out of the playoffs. It's only bad. Well, no, I'll give him his props. We'll save it for the good. The Rams couldn't get the job done. It's bad for us. You couldn't get the job done, and you had so many chances to win this game, Baker. You kept the Rams out of the playoffs. You kept the Panthers out of the playoffs, and you kept who else was he with? He was with 3 teams this year. Oh, and he kept the Lions out of the playoffs because he didn't beat the damn Seahawks. Baker Mayfield. We'll see where he goes. I think he actually, funny enough, the team that he just lost to in week 18 is the team I think he's actually going to be quarterbacking at the start of next season. I think Baker Mayfield has done enough to warrant a contract from somebody out there. Like you said, you either have it or you don't. He's got it. He's not very good, but he's definitely got it. So Baker Mayfield and the Lambs, we'll see what happens next year. But let's move on to the good. Let's talk about some good stuff. Enough bad in this ugly crap. The Jacksonville Jaguars come out of nowhere, pull off the ultimate comeback, storm back, and make the playoffs, clinch the AFC South, finish the season strong, absolutely earn their way into the playoffs. Your thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars and that turnaround?
When I look at the Colts, I look at the Titans, and I look at when I look at that entire division,
The Texans.
yeah, they're so forgettable. It's just what I see in all angles of those three teams is they're lacking one thing, and that's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Our guy, Treviel.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Now you asked early on in the season, see a bust. Told you absolutely not.
Yeah. And
Put some damn respect on that man's name. Don't ever question that ever again, Jake. This is his division now. This is his division. He is the quarterback of that division. He is the new Peyton Manning of that division. That is his division.
Yeah, I like it.
So I love it. I've always liked the Jaguars. They've always kind of flown under the radar. I liked them when they had David Garrard. I just have always liked them, with Maurice Jones-Drew and some of the players that they've had.
Fred Taylor.
Yeah, they're dope. So, hey, they came out of the woodwork and they surprised everybody. They looked real bad at the beginning of the season.
They did.
Now they're sitting pretty with a home playoff game. Good for them. Very happy for the organization. Happy for Doug Peterson. But most importantly, happy for Trevor Lawrence, because last year was a disaster.
Yeah.
A disaster.
Yeah.
And so for them to come back and play the way they did and to clinch that on their home field, awesome. Super, super stoked for them.
Yeah. You can't ask much more. Can't ask much more from your franchise quarterback to go out and do franchise quarterback things, which is exactly what Treviel did. So Trevor Lawrence leads Jacksonville to the AFC South Championship, to the playoffs in his second season.
It's unbelievable, man. You say
These
it out
young
loud
quarterbacks.
like
Yeah, I am stoked to watch these guys for the next 10 years.
When you talk about the quarterbacks that have got it, Trevor Lawrence has got it.
Yeah, he's got it. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this Charger Jaguar game. This is going to be electric. So I cannot wait. Congratulations to Jacksonville. Congratulations to Trevor Lawrence. Congratulations to Doug Peterson. Phenomenal coach, a man's man, an actual coach.
Yep.
So nice job. Great job, Doug Peterson, and great job, Shad Khan, for recognizing that this young quarterback needs a leader, not a clown show. He needs a leader. You go out and get him a leader. You go out and get him pieces. There's your AFC South Championship, right? So nice job, Shad Khan. Nice job, Jacksonville Jaguars. Nice job, everybody a part of that organization, a part of that whole entire team. So nice job. Very well done, right? The Buffalo Bills, we kind of touched on them. I mean, not much more needs to be said. I mean, it's better than good. It's great. It's fantastic. It's amazing. But the opening kickoff return heard around the world, you could say, right? So absolutely unbelievable, right? So the Buffalo Bills, not much more needs to be said. Marching into the playoffs, clinching that number 2 seed. Damar Hamlin flying back to Buffalo, cleared to fly back to Buffalo. So not much more you could ask for. So kudos. Great job. A wonderful job all the way around to the Buffalo Bills organization, right? The Vikings finish off strong, hand the Bears their number 1 seed because the Houston Texans, they did it. They actually did it. They won the Dumpster Fire Bowl, and we now have the Indianapolis Booty Meat Colts for our listening and hearing pleasure. Houston Texans, although they fired Lovie Smith, doesn't make any sense.
So bad they fired Lovie.
Yeah,
I wanted them to try to. I mean, who's going to come in and do a better job?
A bad franchise.
Kingsbury, what are you going to do?
A bad franchise will always be bad. You give a coach nothing. What do you expect him to do? You're going to bring in another coach and give him nothing? What do you think is going to happen? So the Texans will always be in this cycle. Not really surprised there, but at least they dropped the monocle for now. But Indianapolis Booty Meat Colts, welcome to the show. Mike Tomlin, I got to give you kudos, my friend. It still has not had a losing record. Unbelievable as the head coach of the Steelers. Absolutely unbelievable. And I definitely said they were eliminated from the playoffs and that record was coming to an end. They did not make the playoffs, but man, oh man, this man refuses to lose. So Mike Tomlin, ultimate respect there. I mean, the ultimate winner. Not much more you can say there, right? The Eagles locking up the number 1 seed, getting the job done at home. Jalen Hurts looking pretty good. I mean, Davis Webb and the Giants, man, they hung in there. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles. I know Jalen Hurts coming back off an injury. There's going to be some rust there, but the G-men, we're just going to see what happens against the Vikings. Any team, out of all those teams I see, I'd rather play the Vikings probably or the Bucks. Those are the kind of the two teams there where I think I can easily get kind of a steal win. But nice job to the New York Giants getting into the playoffs after really just abysmal coaches for the last years. Philadelphia Eagles clinching the number 1 seed. Your squad, the Niners. Absolute domination against the Arizona Cardinals. And please let this be the final time we see Cliff Kingsbury in the NFL as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, because they are going nowhere under his leadership. Absolutely.
He got fired.
Did he finally get fired?
He got fired today.
Thank you. Cliff Kingsbury, gone. Horrible coach. Go back to college. Man, oh man. A lot of good. Just give me some thoughts. And then last but not least, the Bengals getting the job done against the Ravens, so we don't have to have this stupid coin toss that made absolutely no sense. But the Cincinnati Bengals clinching the 3 seed. We'll play the Ravens again. So there's that. There you go. But man, you had the Buffalo Bills clinching the 2 seed. The Minnesota Vikings clinching the 3 seed. Cincinnati Bengals clinching the 3 seed. You had the Miami Dolphins clinching the 7 seed. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers not clinching a losing record. You had the Philadelphia Eagles clinching the 1 first-round bye. You had the Niners clinching the 2 seed. You had the Seattle clinching the 7th seed. Dallas clinching the 5 seed. What do you got for me? Some thoughts on what we saw?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of action in the final week to kind of that kind of dictated where what teams were going to get in and seeding and things like that. So there were a lot of ramifications. There was a lot of things going on throughout the day. Obviously, I was in the light rail and I was at the stadium, so I was catching bits and pieces of everything. But hoping that praying that somehow the Giants pulled off a miracle with all their backups, but I knew in reality it was a far-fetched. So, just a really big dominant win, like you said, for the 49ers. That was good. Just to be able to, see that at the end of the season, just to be there. And McCaffrey dominating, Elijah Mitchell dominating, George Kittle dominating.
There you go, Elijah Mitchell back too.
Brock Purdy playing well, and so it was cool. It was definitely cool, and definitely happy for your Bengals. They dominated the Ravens, and I think the same thing's going to happen next week, but we'll get into that. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a good final week 18. I think that the one thing that pissed me off the most was that the Rams weren't able to put away the Seahawks. They are like cockroaches.
Yeah, for real.
They're the last team that deserves to be in the playoffs. The Lions deserve it much more than them. It's unfortunate that they got in over them. But whatever.
At least you get to beat Seattle for a third time, right? There's always that nice right there. So what a week 18 we had. What a regular season finale we had. Man, oh man, the action that we have ahead of us. I can only tell you how fired up I am, but we will show you on Friday because that will do it for this edition of Meat on the 50, our week 18 finale review episode. We're done with the regular season. We are marching on to the playoffs, to Super Wild Card Weekend, where it is going down. And man, oh man, do we have some matchups ahead of us. But you know what I like to ask. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Hey, we had a hell of a season. We're just going to have to see. I mean, both of our teams in the same exact position, essentially.
Yeah.
And still on maybe that collision course to get what we wanted last year. Like I said, we got our NBA teams to meet each other. And we've been hoping that both of our teams can get to the Super Bowl, because what that guarantees, ladies and gentlemen, is one of us is going to be happy at the end of the day with the championship. NBA title, despite the fact that my Boston Celtics lost, I'm happy for Jake because, his team was able to get a championship. So what that guarantees is one of us is going to have a championship, and that I mean, nobody could ask for more. So
True.
We've been on a collision course all season to try to meet each other. And, I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to my guns. I really think that that's what's going to happen.
I like it. And congratulations again to our regular season picks champion, Brandon Sullivan, right? Running away with it here at the end. Absolutely dominating and improving by 9 wins from last year. That's what we're talking about. That's what we want. We just want improvement. So do us a favor. If you ever are looking for guys who just like to talk about sports, know about sports, and if you're ever just tired of the corporate BS, we are right here waiting for you. And we will always be happy to just have a good time with you, right? Because that's what we want. We love sports. We know you do too. Thank you guys for joining us. That is going to do it for our Week 18 review episode. We're on to the playoffs. I cannot wait. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get there. That is one of my best friends, Brendan Sullivan. I am Jacob Feather Fantasy Guy. And until Friday, until our playoff episode, we are